Hi guys, it is Tamara. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Welcome back. Happy New Year, guys. This has been an unbelievable journey, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to me as I say that. I mean, 2020 was very stressful, very overwhelming, very unpredictable, and a lot of us were pushed to the brink of, for lack of a better word, insanity. We've had to deal with COVID. We've had to deal with civil rights and racial issues. We have had to deal with police brutality and politics that are blown out of proportion in regards to certain topics, right? It doesn't have to just be civil rights issues. We have gone through a lot. As a matter of fact, I think it's a year that has started a brand new mindset. Let's get to the reason for this video. So I want to talk about motivation today and kind of building within yourself a new mind. You know, I think it's important that we focus on rebuilding ourselves after 2020 and moving forward with a new mindset. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. For all of you who are subscribed, and for those who are new, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button so you can stick around with us and be a part of our growing and validating community. And let me go ahead and briefly introduce myself, since my introduction was so long. My name is Tamara, and I'm an internationally and board certified trauma therapist, but I also specialize in treating children, teens, and families. Let's start off with the topic of motivation, okay? And this may be the kind of, inspirational video where taking notes may be helpful for you, or at least grabbing your journal and jotting down some things that you would like to do. But I'm gonna give you at least 9 ways that you can rebuild your mind and rebuild yourself for 2021. But let's start out with the topic of motivation. So what is motivation? Well, there's a general definition of motivation, and then it narrows itself into the field of psychology. So let's start with the general definition. So motivation in the general sense is basically the desire to do something. It's the why of why you're doing something, right? It's reason. Why am I doing this again? Because I'm motivated. But what are you motivated by? Well, research suggests that there's 2 ways to define motivation. One is drives, and the other is motives. Okay, so I'm just trying to process how I'm going to explain this to you. I think we can look at drives in the sense that, drives are biological. Those drives are kind of built in us at birth. They're genetic, they're biological. They have a biological foundation, like thirst, hunger, and a desire for intimacy, right? Those kind of things are drives. And so motivation is a little bit like a drive. Now, in terms of motives, right? Motives are a little bit more, I think they're a little bit more socially and psychologically based, okay? So, motivation is basically, I'm motivated by something to do something. A drive, again, is biological, and a motive is more social and psychological. So there may be a social reason for why you're motivated. There may be an environmental reason for why you're motivated, okay? But the way that I want you to think about this topic of motivation is drive. So I want you to kind of find a way to influence your drive to go and to survive and to succeed. And so I'm going to give you those tips in a little bit here. Okay, but that's the difference. 1, drives, biological, and 2, motives is more social and environmental. All right, we're going to break this down just a little bit more, guys. So there's 2 other things I want you to keep in mind. 1 is intrinsic influences, and 2 is external or extrinsic influences. Okay, what that means is that you are being influenced. Your motivation is being influenced by external or internal influences. External influences might be, you see your neighbor next door doing really well. He just got married and he just bought a new home and he just bought a beautiful car. That is external or extrinsic motivation for you. That's the motivation that you need to motivate you to actually go out and do some things for yourself. Okay, that's extrinsic or external. I'm trying to say 2 things at once, guys. I apologize. But you want to keep that in mind, okay? So extrinsic influences or motivation, and external, things that are outside of you, not built inside genetically or biologically. They're outside of you and they're influencing you, all right? Intrinsic or internal motivation or influences would be something like your own value system, your own morals, right? Your own level of motivation, your energy level, right? Things that you want to do for you because that's just who you are as a person, right? Your thoughts can also be internal or intrinsic motivation for you. Your thoughts as well, and your emotions. All right. So extrinsic or external is outside of you. Those are influences that are influencing you to be motivated or not motivated. We can also put that in there. And intrinsic or internal would be influences that would encourage you internally, right, to be motivated or not motivated. Okay. So, those are things that I want you to think of moving forward when it comes to motivation. Am I internally or externally motivated? And if I am externally motivated, do I need to shift my perspective and shift my view and be a different person? What do I need to do here? Okay. Or you can look at it this way. Am I intrinsically motivated? And that is good, but I need to put some boundaries on how motivated I am so that I don't burn myself out. That's usually my problem. And I'm sure a lot of you as well. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and move into some of these suggestions so that you can kind of adopt some of them and practice them in your daily life. I've actually done the same for myself, and I'll share that with you now. So, I've always been intrinsically motivated to get things done, to be on time, to be motivated, and to achieve. That's just who I am. I like organization. I'm not a type A personality, but I can be. But I tend to really embrace structure and patterns and organization and just order. I prefer to operate in that way because I know I'm getting everything that I need to get done, right? So I around Christmas time I purchased myself like a little bit of a planner, and it's a little bit of a different kind of a planner. It allows you to take really extensive notes on some of the things that you may want to do outside of your typical schedule. So I utilized that planner and I wrote down how I want my week to go. I want my Mondays to go this way, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, my Fridays, and then my Saturday and Sunday are those days where I don't engage with anybody but my family, and I do things for myself like exercise and try new recipes and things like that. So that's what I started to do. And for me, it has worked. Just kind of, organizing in an ABC fashion how my week is going to go. It may not always go that way, but when it does, that is good because then I don't feel so pressured. And I'm kind of engaging in self-care when I do that as well. So I encourage you to take that on. All right. So let me go ahead and start with the number one thing that I want you to commit to and try for you personally. The number one thing that I want you to do is embrace intrinsic motivation. All right. Embrace intrinsic motivation. If you have an internal motivation for something or a passion, embrace that. And I think that's going to help build your esteem. That's also going to help build your motivation if you're lacking in that area to a higher level because you're embracing that thing that you love. If you are, let's say, for example, an attorney, or if you do what I do, you're a psychotherapist or you're a psychiatrist, you may want to go ahead and embrace that hobby that you really love, right? And embrace it in a way where you can provide some time for yourself during the week to actually fully engage in that, right? If you like knitting and sewing, or YouTube or music or movies, or you like collecting things, make some time for that. We can be adults, we can be really busy throughout our week, and we can also take our lives very seriously, but we also need that little pocket of space to actually do what it is that we're passionate about, right? We need to kind of de-stress that way too. And I think that helps to give us a well-rounded identity because we're not only dealing with our adult selves, but we're also dealing with, our playful selves, right? The area of life where we feel You know, we're free and we're passionate, right? So embrace that. All right. The next thing I want you to do is gain mastery over an area that you're interested in. So if you want to gain mastery over making YouTube clips, go ahead and do it, and sign up for some continuing education courses, right? If you want to gain mastery over learning how to cook, go ahead and buy a cookbook. Go to Barnes & Noble and buy all the cookbooks you can get, and really commit to gaining mastery. Now, there's a psychological benefit to gaining mastery. When you gain mastery over things in your life, you really are boosting your confidence, and you're also boosting your ability to be flexible, right? You can have your adult life, but you also need that other area of your life where you are, in a healthy fashion, engaging in things that are going to cater to that side of you. Right? So gain mastery over something. One of the things that I've been doing, and I hope you guys will see the improvements. Some of you have mentioned it to me on this channel. I hope you see the improvements in my YouTube videos. I've been trying new things. I've been trying new intros and new outros and, new, angles and different things with my videos, and trying vlogging, but in a little bit of a different way than everybody does their vlogging. I try to teach you every step of the way, even if I bring you into my personal life, which I don't do a lot. But if I bring you into my vlogs, I really try to educate you while I'm letting you enjoy the vlogs. So there's different things that I'm doing to gain mastery over my YouTube area of expertise. All right. So I find that really builds me up in other areas as well. So I encourage you to gain mastery. The next thing that I encourage you to do is don't leave out your spiritual side. We all have a spiritual side. Life is spiritual. There's some things that we're never going to fully understand. Take death, for example. We don't understand that. We don't know where people go when they die. Where does that person's soul go when they die? Right? They're so lively and so magnetic when they're here, and so connected emotionally and psychologically to other people. And yet when they die, where in the world do they go? It's like, they've gone to sleep forever, And so life is spiritual. That's an example of spirituality. We don't have the answers to that necessarily. We also don't know what the other side looks like when we die. So, we can't just go through life leaving out the spiritual side of things. We have to involve that as well. All right. So don't leave out your spiritual side. It's very much needed. You need to cater to that being that's on the inside of you. It's important. It's important. All right. The next thing is maintain homeostasis with structure. Maintain balance, homeostasis with structure. Keep things structured to the best of your ability, right? If everything else in your world is chaotic, sometimes it is very psychotherapeutic, very psychological, and very emotionally stabilizing to organize things. Organize your office, organize your bathroom, organize your bedroom, organize your daily schedule, right? Organize your refrigerator even, organize your cabinets in the kitchen. Sometimes one area of organization and structure can provide that homeostasis for you. All right, so that's another tip. The next thing is cater to the emotional and psychological needs that you have. Cater to the psychological and emotional needs that you have. Music, swimming, exercise, dance, right? Cooking, art class, whatever, playing a musical instrument, right? Challenging yourself to do certain things you didn't think you would ever do before, right? Cater to your emotional and psychological needs. That is extraordinarily important. I believe that we have various components to ourselves. We're very multidimensional as human beings. And sometimes that means we have to cater to that multidimensional aspect of who we are, right? We can't just be one person. I'm not just the person that you see giving you this information on YouTube, right? I'm also somebody who enjoys her family and enjoys her relationships, her friends, and the list goes on. I'm also somebody who is planning to travel the world, right? I'm also somebody's daughter. I'm somebody's sibling, right? I'm somebody's, cousin. So there's different components of who I am, and I operate differently in all those areas, although I'm one particular person. I'm Tamra. right? So I think what I'm trying to get across to you is if you cater to the psychological and emotional needs that you have, you're actually catering to the multidimensional aspect of who you are. You're not just one person. You're not just one person that has a family to raise and that goes to work every day. That's not you. You have other aspects of you, and you should cater to those. All right. The next thing that I suggest is engage in psychotherapy or self-care. Both of those are highly important. Psychotherapy is not for everyone. And even though I'm a psychotherapist, I agree with most of the people that talk to me about psychotherapy that it's not for everyone. Some people actually get worse in psychotherapy, and some people get more confused in their world when they have embraced psychotherapy. So it's not for everybody. So what I suggest in that sense is that you do some self-learning, right? Buy some books, read some articles, go to websites, look at YouTube, go to blogs, read some scientific articles. I talked about these two sources in my previous video. And you can go there and you can learn a lot about mental health and science and physiology and psychiatry. So engage in psychotherapy, and if not psychotherapy, go ahead and start educating yourself about yourself. It's important. The next thing is learn something daily. I find that I enjoy reading articles or watching new videos or listening to a training or a podcast during my daily life. I don't do it every day, if I'm honest with you, but every other day I'm doing something where I'm learning. Again, the goal is to gain mastery. You want to gain mastery over the things that you feel you're not really up on. You know what I mean? I would read a paper daily. I would read an article daily, listen to a podcast, do something where you're learning something every single day. All right. And last but not least, in the day well. What I like to do is relax myself. I like to take baths right before bed, and I will put 20 drops of an essential oil in my warm bath water or in my shower. And I will also use Epsom salt or bath salts and soak in that for at least 5 to 10 minutes. It's a little bit of a cleansing routine, and it relaxes you so that you can end your day well. When you've given yourself to the world through work and family and expectations and responsibilities, it's really good to end the day well. It puts you in the mindset that you need to be in for the next day. All right. So I encourage you to give these things a shot in the new year. Thank you so much for being with me today, guys, in this video. I encourage you to give it a thumbs up if it was helpful. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and bell button so that you can stick around with us and know exactly when I post new content. All right, guys, I'll see you real soon. Bye.